Welcome to Kilcoy. This is a small community with about 1,500 people who are all living north of Brisbane by about 75 kilometres. It's a large area of about 1,400 square kilometres, and this community is doing something extraordinary. And together, this amazing group of people have been facilitated in a process where they are taking responsibility for the creation of their own future. Tonight I'm going to introduce you to some of these people as they launch their own website called Connecting Kilcoy Community.
The Connecting Kilcoy Community is a project we've started to get the community thinking about where they want to be in the future and being proactive about getting there. It's about the community talking to itself and formulating how they want the future to develop.
Looking for a great night. Cool.
Well, I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. It's great to see you all. This is about our website for the Connecting Kilcoy Community Project, and it's to let people know what's there and how it will be operating, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people using it and get some interaction about the future of Kilcoy.
We'd always liked the area. We used to pass through a lot travelling, so when we were looking for some land and to move out of the city, this is where we looked.
I really enjoyed this project. This is the first time I've been a part of a process like this, and it's such a privilege to work alongside local residents and to do something where residents themselves are taking they're taking a lead of the process, and that's been so rewarding.
I'd like to see the community connect for sure. The satisfaction of achieving things for people, that goes for everybody. So I suppose I'm really no different to anybody else.
Because I think a lot of people want the same thing. I think many people want the same thing, and I'm hoping that if there's enough people who want the same thing, we'll be able to achieve it.
Yeah, so it's quite a good town. A lot of new people coming in, which is good. Getting new ideas and that sort of thing as well. So it'll grow the town as well. That's what the town needed.
That it becomes a more inclusive community. That there was the ability and the welcome for people to become part of the culture of the place, that is in terms of music and art, and there are a whole lot of different groups, but they seem to be fragmented. There needs to be a lot more cultural cohesion.
The biggest, most important thing is to have some input into government, whether it be local government, state or federal, and have your voice heard. If you can be on the front foot with them sometimes, it's a help.
And it's really great to see somebody getting this together. I think Connecting Kilcoy, the website will be something that'll be absolutely valuable to Somerset Regional Council as we do our community plans, and I think it'll dovetail into that nicely.
The process is just a couple of simple questions after assuring the people of what it's all about.
Just asked me what I liked about Kilcoy, what I didn't like, what could be improved. So I'm quite opinionated and I have opinions.
And the questions are just simple ones like, what do you like about Kilcoy and what don't you like, and what would you do about it if you could? And so a lot of people have some very sensible ideas, and some wacky ones as well.
It's a process that can be applied to any town or community. It just so happens though you need somebody prepared to drive it, because it won't do it by itself. And that's probably the hardest part, finding somebody prepared to put their hand up and say, yeah, well, let's have a crack at this.
I think that sort of nature of society today militates against that cohesion, but we need to look to try to create it.
And it's great to see a community get together and actually do something like this. So I encourage people to get involved with it, and it is something that it'll save us as council time later on as we move through the community plan, because a lot of this work will be done.
As the government said, the council have got to do community consultation when they bring projects forward, so if you've already got a group involved and set up, it's going to make it a lot easier to relate those back to the council when they come around. Or if they put it out to a consultancy firm, at least you've got your own body set up. There's some ideas, so you probably go proactive in that with the process.
I think a standout thing for me about this project has been the response that we've got from local residents. Like, I was one of the trained interviewers, and people were just, I was just delighted by how responsive they were.
There are a lot of people out there who have some very good ideas, but have in the past have been unable to express those thoughts because of their personalities or their circumstances. But with this process, we're getting input from people that you'd normally not hear from, and that's very encouraging.
All those places up there are communities under the Kilcoy postcode, different types of groups, be they community and business, community support groups, community health support groups. I think that one's culture and heritage, such as the Historical Society, Art Group, Patchwork Plus, Dance Group and so on, and that's natural resources and environment. But now we have the interview responses, and I'll just click through each of these quickly. First off, down the bottom here, this is the full list of responses that have gone in there so far. There's about 200 or 300 in there now. The first question is what people like about Kilcoy now. The second question is what they would like to see improved. The third question is what they would like to see somewhere in the future. And the fourth question is who's responsible for doing it. Interestingly, not all of them said government. So that's very, very good to see. So the process from here with the project is to take the results of these interviews and start getting together with groups of 8 or 9 people and just going through the bits of information that come out. So Kilcoy will go to 1,500 other communities around Australia. It may entice some, as we develop the web page, to actually come here and have a look.
What attracted me to it, apart from the fact that Beryl's a long-time friend of our family and she's been saying to me for some time, that stuff you've been doing, it would be nice if we could do something around the place. For me, it's the energy that people have to actually take some level of control over their own sort of existence, really. I think that's always great, because our kids actually benefit from that. When they hear their parents or their uncles and aunties talking in a positive way about their community, then that helps them an awful lot to feel more positive about what they're doing. So from that, just from that generational perspective, I think it's been fantastic. David's been a great person to work with. We've tic-tac really well, and Amy and Beryl, Jim, the whole team has been a real team effort. And I think the really big thing there is about people being very open about things, and that's why we want to keep the whole process open. So whatever people say actually goes up there. None of that's been vetted. What you see is what you get, and that's what we'll work with. And that's an honesty about the whole thing, and that's where the group started with that and said, yeah, let's go down that track. And so it's just been a pleasure for me to do the work with you. But I'd just like to finish off by asking you to give a vote of thanks to David and the team.
Catch you later.
This is my wife on that.